So I meant to do this last night, but I got home and that wasn't happening. So I'm in my car. Yes, my hair is doing whatever the hell that is, but I just have so much to say that I can't write it down. Normally I just write some sappy ass paragraph and just be like, have this, and you guys would be like, oh, that's great, and I would try, except I know that I have so much to say. The first just being thank you for everything. Both the community and the people who make the community possible in the first place. You know, when I heard about this show, I knew he was going to do one, and I knew it was going to happen. And when I heard about it, I was like, that is the coolest thing ever. And I was excited, but I didn't think it was going to happen. I was like, it's like 7 hours away. Gas is hella expensive. We don't have the money to do that. It's almost Christmas, and like, there was just no way it was going to happen. I didn't express even that I wanted to go. It was just like, this is so cool. And out of nowhere, a bunch of my friends are just like, we will pay for you to go to this. We will literally throw money at you because we want this for you so bad. And I didn't believe them. I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. I didn't think there would be enough. I didn't think enough people would donate enough money or give me enough to fund everything. The travel, food, tickets, everything. I didn't think it was going to happen. Even once we already had some money, I was like, this isn't enough. This isn't going to work. I was sorely mistaken. Because in less than 24 hours, we had almost $700. And my mind was just blown. I was like, these people wanted so badly for me. I had no idea why. I don't know what I did. But it was quickly becoming a reality. And this was only a few weeks before it happened. My parents were like, holy shit, like, this is happening. So, you know, we start to plan the trip, and I'm getting a little nervous at this point, because I'm like, you know, this is gonna be crazy, but the show is only one night, and the rest of it's gonna be driving and being in a town that I don't know, and honestly, some part of me wondered if it was gonna be worth it. And then my friends were starting to plan out. They're like, okay, we want to meet you. And I was like, I don't know if my parents are okay with that. Long story short, I meet Karen, who is one of the single nicest people I've ever seen and met. And she's so talented. And we meet, and that's insane. I didn't even know who she was. And so it was kind of like, oh wow, I'm a fan, and I have a fan. That's like crazy. And then I get to the venue, I walk into the auditorium, and I'm just flooded. There are people all over me. There's probably at least 8 people who come up to me and they're like, oh my gosh, Zoe's here. And I looked over at my mom and I could tell that she was just like, what is happening? Like, all these people know my kid. And it was crazy for all of us, but it was just so different to see that outpouring of support in real time. Because I know I have so many followers and I have so many friends that I talk to on a regular basis, but just seeing it tangibly in front of me was crazy. And then the next person I meet is Lee. He's, you know, I watched a couple videos with him and I interacted with him some, and he seemed like a nice guy, but I see him and he hugged me like we'd known each other for years, and he talks to me like he already knows who I am, and he's like, we're getting pictures, and he's like, I want you to meet me at the bottom of the stairs after the show. lo and behold, the next new person I meet is Daniel himself. This whole time, people are like, oh, you're so gonna meet Daniel. And I'm like, dude, I didn't even get, like, VIP 1 tickets. I didn't pay for this. There's no reason that I should get to meet him. There's no reason. But I get to the bottom of the stairs, and Lee just looks at me and is like, okay, we have something for you. And we start going backstage, and I'm already freaking out because I already know what's happening. I'm already like, oh my gosh. I'll tell that story in a bit. But just getting to see all of these people who know me after feeling for so long like it wasn't real. My parents didn't understand it. They didn't get how I could be so connected to these people without actually ever seeing them. And it was kind of hard for me to understand too. And to just see it and know that these people were so happy to see me and so willing to give me this experience is beyond anything that I could have imagined. Oh my gosh, I'm a mess. Okay. The show itself, incredible. I laughed and I screamed and I was singing along, and it was so good. The editing on the projector videos, on the Captain Munch commercials, it was impeccable. And I am infinitely indebted to all of the people who put this together, who made this possible. The behind the scenes, Jeremy, who edited all of it, which he's amazing. I love him. I'm kind of sad I didn't get to meet him. But Lee, who just works with Daniel all the time. Karen, who I already talked about, who did all the art for the show. She's crazy. And anyone else who I don't already know about, who I would love to get to know, because they are all amazing. And everyone who was at the venue, anyone who was involved in this, I cannot say it enough that it was amazing, and I am so glad I was able to experience it, because even if he has tours in the future, I just know that this experience specifically could never be replicated. It being his first show, being in Palace Theater where Houdini himself had been, and holy crap, that reminds me, the opening act, the magician opening act, amazing. My mom was in shock the whole time. She's like, how are you doing this? And it was just like the perfect warm-up for what was about to happen. At first, when I heard about it, I was like, that's kind of weird having a magician open for a comedy show. But it worked, and it was great, and he was amazing. Everyone involved put so much work into this, and I know how much time it took. And you can see it in the product, how well it made it was. And that, I just need to say that was incredible. In terms of the online community, obviously, I'm incredibly grateful. Like, I'm just a kid, right? A kid. I'm 17, but I started some fan account a year ago, not thinking anything would come of it, just because I realized, okay, my main account on Twitter is sort of just becoming me talking about Daniel, and I know not everyone cares. And so I was like, I'm gonna move this over here. And I just thought some of my friends would follow me, and it would just be like a fun little time. And then, literal days later, I'm getting retweets from Daniel, and then followers. And in less than a week, I have 100 followers, which is just like mind-boggling to me. And this growth happened so fast. And then in less than a year, the year anniversary of my account is coming up, like, within the next week. And in less than a year, I have over 400 followers. And I interact with a good portion of them on a regular basis. And if it weren't for every single one of those people I would not feel like I'm a part of something the way I am. I have spent a lot of my life feeling like the outcast, like the loner. And I know that's such a cliche thing to say, and a lot of people who spend a lot of time on the internet will say the same thing. My freshman year was a shit show. My sophomore year was during COVID, so it was also hellscape, just fire and cinders and terrible. I was so ready to give up. I don't know if I ever really would have. But there were times when I felt like there was nothing for me. And I felt unimportant. I felt small. I felt like, people wouldn't care if I wasn't there anymore. There were times where I would just kind of break on my account and I wouldn't post anything. And I would have DMs of people being like, "Are you okay?" Or I would post something that would be concerning and people would be asking me. And it's been so long since I've had that level of care and concern shown to me that it's astonishing that people you haven't even seen face to face, who don't even know what I look like sometimes, that they can care so much about me just because I'm me. That's just, I always felt like I had to earn it. I always felt like I don't deserve this. I didn't do anything. Like, why? Why me? And I'm learning slowly that you don't have to earn it. And that I was just me. And people are drawn to that for whatever reason. And it's just a feeling I haven't felt in a very, very, very long time. And just as I reflect on these past couple days, like, that's one of the things that stands out to me the most. This might not have been an event that specifically reminded me of that. But when I think of the grand scheme of things and everything that's led up to this, like, that is one of the most important things to me. The fact that I felt important, that I feel like I've been a part of something, and that when I feel like there's nothing left, that there always is something there. And it might be a stupid account of people who are just as crazy as me. It might be some stupid YouTuber who doesn't even know who I am. And it doesn't matter, because I felt like I was doing something. I felt like people cared about me. And I'm not gonna lie, at this point, I think it saved my life to some degree, whether literally or just kept me from kind of going down that path that I had gone down before. It has, to some degree, helped keep me in line, keep me here as much as I can be. And if it weren't for that, I wouldn't have even seen the day where I saw this show and where I met someone I look up to. Like, it's, sorry, I am just, okay. And obviously, last but not least, Daniel freaking Thrasher, who was just going to be a phase. It was just going to be, this guy's pretty great, and he's really funny, and I found him at a very opportune time in my life where I was really down, and I felt like, wow, this guy is great, and I dedicated a lot of time to him, and I'm pretty sure I and the people around me, both online and in my real life, thought that this was just going to be, like, a moment of weakness, I guess. And nothing else was going to come of it. Boy, were we wrong! We were really very, 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 very wrong. And as these interactions grew over the past year or so, I was just like, when is this gonna end? When am I gonna stop? Like, when am I gonna sort of taper out and move on with my life? And it never happened. I'm glad it didn't, because if I had stopped caring, or if this hadn't continued on the way it had, I would not have ended up where I am now, sitting in my car, sobbing to my phone to 500 people. Like, I cannot thank this man enough just for doing what he does. Like, and I know people say this about actors, YouTubers all the time, and I am no different. Like, I realize that so much of it has to do with the community of people and the people I've met, and you saw me just literally bawling a minute ago about all of these amazing people. And in reality, without the person, I wouldn't have met any of these people. Without Daniel, without his content, without the people who help create this, there would be no community. And if there was no community, I wouldn't be where I am. I would probably be in shambles somewhere. I might not be here at all. I don't really know. And it's crazy to think that someone I had never met could have such an impact on my life, and that it could take less than a year before I realized that he has changed me so much, and my outlook on things, and sort of my quality of life. I fully thought that I would never get to meet him ever in my entire life, because I don't live in Los Angeles. I don't have money to, like, pay for VIP access to whatever the hell thing he's doing in the future. I didn't even think I was going to make it to this show. And people were telling me before the show started, you are going to meet him. I just know it's going to happen. I know this is going to happen. And I was like, you guys are crazy. Like, there's no way. I haven't done anything. Like, I'm just a kid who has a Twitter account. Sure, we've talked on Twitter before. I didn't feel like I deserved it. I was like, there's no way. And like I said earlier, boy was I wrong. Because apparently, people think that was necessary. Let me backtrack a little bit. So Lee meets me at the bottom of the stairs, and he's like, we have something for you. And in my head, I'm just going, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. I know what's going on right now. We step up the very small flight of stairs. It's like 4 stairs. I turn. We're behind the curtain. We're backstage. And he's standing there, right? And he kind of just throws his arms out like this. And he goes, ah! And I go, ah! And we have like the same reaction. And like I said, I had never thought I was going to meet him at all. But in ever thinking about meeting any of these people, any YouTuber, any actor that I have ever looked up to, I always thought it was going to be me meeting them. And it was going to be like, oh my gosh, it's this person. And it was going to be really fast, and it was not going to mean a lot, like, in terms of, like, conversation or anything. And I always had that, I guess it wasn't a fear, it was just me trying to keep myself in reality, right? It's like, they meet tons of people all the time, and I'm just another person. But I, obviously not as aggressively, kind of said that. I was like, I didn't think this was going to happen. And I'm paraphrasing here, but Lee and Daniel were both kind of like, well, when we saw that you were going to come out here for this, and we saw that it was like your friends were paying for it and everything, we knew that I, Daniel, had to meet you. It was an intentional decision. Apparently, I didn't make it to the pre-show, partially because I didn't have the tickets to make it there, but also because my mom and I got lost. Long story. Apparently Lee was asking where I was before the show, under Daniel's orders. Like, they were like looking for me before the show even started. And it's just, it went from, there's no way in hell that I'm ever going to meet this guy, and that's fine, because I'm just a person, to, okay, this is actually happening, to actually meeting him, seeing his reaction, and he's just as excited as I am, and realizing that we had both been looking forward to this, that it wasn't just me, and that he asked to hug me. I wasn't planning on it, because I was like, I don't know if that's, like, happening. And he talked to me. It wasn't me asking him questions. It was a real interaction. And it was beyond anything I could have ever asked for or imagined ever. And I know it seems like I'm being way super dramatic right now. But I just... None of this sank in until I got home last night. I was literally, like, bawling last night when I was trying to sleep. I never thought it was gonna happen. And I can't say that enough. I never thought I was going to meet this guy. And I thought it was gonna be years before he went on tour, and I would be out of this supposed phase that I thought I was in. And that it was never gonna happen. It was never gonna happen. Because I didn't think I had done anything to deserve it or earn it. Apparently I was wrong. We got pictures, and I look at them sometimes and I start tearing up because he looks so excited. I'm like, dude, I'm supposed to be the one who's like, ah, look who it is. And in the pictures, he's like pointing at me, and he's like, his face is just all like super bright, and he's happy. And I wonder every time, just impulsively wonder what I did to deserve that. And it makes me think about kind of how far I've come in the last year, and that we have interacted, and that I am a mod on his Discord server, and that he has talked to me, and that I have talked to him, like, over voice chat, and just, like, any sort of relationship that we've had has come so far since a year ago, where he was just retweeting stuff that I had posted or tagged him in, to the point where he and the people he worked with made it a point to notice that I was going to make it there, and made it part of the entire thing that I was going to meet him. Because it was important. They knew it would be important to me. Obviously it is. But it was also important to him. And, you know, I'm not going to explain, like, the whole everything that happened, because it was just a lot, and I won't be able to get through it in less than an hour without going off on tangents and crying. But, we part ways, and Lee is escorting my mom and I down the stairs, and he's like, if you see me crying, no you don't. So even, like, he was, like, crying, he was emotional about this moment too, because we have interacted, and he knows, like, just how excited I was for this, and how badly I wanted to meet Daniel that he was crying. Like, just everything that happened, it didn't feel real until last night when I got home and I realized this all happened. Like, and this video is taking a lot longer than I thought it would, because I'm still processing it. And I don't think any amount of words I speak could ever thank anyone enough. I am at a loss of written and spoken and expressed words. I don't know how to say it, because this has just been such a big part of me for a period of time in my life that I have been going through a lot, and I never thought anything would come of it. Like I said, I thought it would be over, and, you know, I'd see the show, we'd go home and be like, that was great, and then move on. And I can't thank anyone, from everyone who follows me, to my friends, just in general, to those people who got the money so that I could make it, to Allie, who literally bought me tickets, to the people involved in the actual show, making the show possible, to Daniel being willing to meet me, and, like, just all of it, everything that transpired. There are not words that I can speak that will fully express how happy all of this has made me, and how much it has made me realize that I am loved and I am worth something. Sorry. I couldn't have done that on my own. I'm just so overwhelmed with joy. And I guess if there are no words, then tears are the words. I haven't cried this much in years. I hope you realize that. Like, I don't even know how to close this out. It's been literally half an hour. My mom's gonna be like, where the hell have you been? You literally went to the pharmacy. Oh my gosh. There's nothing, I can't. I love you all. I am so thankful for everything you've done. And I will see you later. We will chat later. Thank you.